We're Hassani and Danielle Pettiford, and we're a real couple with real problems who almost called it quits.
I was very frustrated. I became very disconnected, very jaded and cold.
We have 4 children, going on 20 years of marriage, and we practice what we preach.
Our mission, to change the way couples relate to one another and teach them the skills needed to improve the quality of their relationships. This is the Couples Academy Show.
Our mics muted, or are they on? They're on?
Can't hear you.
Can't hear us.
Can you hear us now? Can you hear us now?
How about this? Can you hear us, guys? Can you hear us? 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 We want to know. We want to know. We want to know.
I think that was the problem. I think we just unmuted.
All right. Now, there it is. All right, guys, we're live.
Let's try that again.
Let's try that again. Let's start from the beginning. Hey, my name is Hassani.
I'm Danielle.
And we are the Couples Academy Show. We're glad to have you all with us here today. We are in part 2 of a series. We're talking about how to let go of your past, part 2. We started that conversation earlier, actually this week, and we're continuing in it because we want to make sure that 2022 is the best year that you have ever had, and that is possible for each and every one of you. But before we get started, let's make a few quick announcements. You know, as we have the Last Chance Weekend coming up February the 11th through the 13th. And for those of you who are new to the show and don't know what that is, for 3 days, couples travel from all over the world and come to Atlanta, Georgia, where our headquarters is, to go through an experience that is transformational for their marriage. It is an amazing thing because couples who are in crisis, those on the verge of divorce, those impacted by an affair who are trying to figure out what do we do at this point. This is their last chance. If this doesn't work, nothing else will. And they come down and they are amazed at what they experience in that weekend.
Every time.
So listen, there's a quick video we want to show you of our settings, our surroundings, and what we do. And after that, we'll pick up and get started with today's show.
Welcome back, everybody. You're watching the Couples Academy Show, and we're talking about how to let go of your past. That's what we're talking about today. But first, I want to make sure that we acknowledge a few people. I want to say hello to Jody, Fedlina, Ayana, Natural's with us, Natural Beauty, Fedlina again, Zach, Natural. Hey, hold on. Where's everybody else? I'm seeing a lot of repeats. JG, I see you. Hey, Jewel. Hey, Fedlina. Hey, Lisa. Hey, Zach. Okay. Until y'all get in here, I think I'll recognize you on the. Oh, I see y'all coming in now. Hey, Walter. Happy Martinez. Good morning, everybody. We really appreciate you tuning in. And actually, because the first half of the show, there was no sound, our first few segments of the show, there's no sound, I want to also invite you, like, share, subscribe, share it right now, okay? Because we want to get everybody in on the live show. Because when the show is live and you're actually with us right now, it's just a different energy. I'm literally talking to you. And sometimes you drop little questions in there and we can actually address it and it kind of shapes the conversation. So we want as many people as we can get on live. So we appreciate you guys doing that every day. And welcome to the show today.
So we were at a comedy show on our date night, Tuesday night. And, the host comes on and trying to get the crowd hyped. And you engage, you ask some questions. So he was just like, so how many of you have New Year's resolutions? It was like silence. It was like a hush that went throughout the room. No. I don't think you heard me. How many of you have New Year's resolutions? And it was just like that. It was a pregnant pause. And I was like, man, people don't really do that anymore. People don't do that. It's almost like whatever 2022 is going to bring, I guess I'm going to have to deal with it. And it seems like people have lost that thing that says, man, new season, new journey, new exploration, new goals, new achievements, new something.
I think people, maybe they're a little bit disenfranchised right now. I've heard a lot of people say this year I'm not doing a New Year's resolution, praying for the best, praying for my family, praying for safety. We just have a different mindset. And I think people are allowing the circumstances to cap the imagination and what they think they're capable of accomplishing. Because, we have to maneuver a little bit differently in the world, and, we cannot go out and be as social and we can't be as free. So we got to think outside the box, people. We can't let this allow us to not have a projected image of what is to come, because that's how we do it. If you imagine that, that just hit me. The fact that so many people are not even looking at the future as a place to plan because of the lack of certainty. I don't know how to navigate, so I'm just not going to navigate at all.
Yeah. And what you're saying is, I'm not in control of my life, and I voluntarily have given up my life's control over to circumstances, over to the government, over, I don't know what influences tell me I should be doing. You have to plot your own course. You have to create your own destiny, and regardless of the circumstances, and regardless of what's happening around here, and regardless of even what's happening in your home, if you don't have a clear plan for what your next season is, then guess what? You're going to be subject and a slave to whatever those circumstances will produce in your life. And that's what we're talking about, how to plot a new course. Now, in order to plot a new course, first you got to get rid of the past. You got to get out of those old ways, out of that old mindset. So we're going to continue in this conversation. On yesterday, we were talking about how you have to turn the let it go past. That must be a must. It's got to just be a must for you, that you're doing away with the things that you've done in the past so that you have a new reality. And then we were talking about identifying your emotional habits, because sometimes we are unconscious of the things that we say, of the things that we think, of our actions, of behaviors. We're unconscious of it. We're just doing it by automatic remote control. And when you operate in self-awareness, and now you can live in intentionality to do something different. And then we were talking about, you have to begin to condition your mind and shift your focus. Placing your focus in your eyes, not just your physical eyes, but your heart, where your vision is, on something different. Obsessing not about what went wrong, but obsess about a new reality and something else that you want to do for your life and have in your relationships. And so we want to continue in that conversation. And so first we have create empowering rituals. Now, there's something called morning rituals. There's many books out there that talk about how people really own their morning, because if you own your morning, you own your day. And so some people will get up a little bit early in the morning and they will engage in personal development. They will focus on their spiritual transformation before they get caught up in the workday, doing things for their job, doing things for their business, doing things for their family. You should have your own individual time where you invest in yourself. I know Danielle does it. I do it. And it really, I mean, I remember a season where we would just get up late and it's just like the alarm went off right before the kids had to get ready for school, and we missed our own time. And that time is so critically important.
And I think, you have to apply this to where you're at, right? Because we all have different lifestyles and different schedules. Some people sleep all morning because they worked all night. We have to recognize that. But here's the thing. If you implement sacred rituals for yourself, whenever you have that time, because you all have that time, right? That's the time when you wake up to get ready. Before you wake up to get ready, if you have that sacred time, that time to do gratitude, acknowledge what is and be thankful for those things. You might have a ritual of prayer every morning to acknowledge God, those kinds of things. A ritual of having a cup of tea or a cup of coffee. A ritual of quiet time and meditation. All these things are important so that you can actually become present and embody your present reality. Guys, you're listening to the Couples Academy Show. We'll be right back after this quick break.
To the wives struggling to move forward, I know that you're hurt, filled with doubt, fear, anger, and resentment. I know you're trying to be your best self throughout this recovery process, all while still having to be mom, daughter, sister, friend, and so much more. I know it feels impossible to be there for everyone else when at times your journey feels so isolated and alone. I know that more than once a day, you scream on the inside, I can't take this anymore. I know there are days when you feel like you want to give up and run away. I know you spend too much time sitting in your car parked in the driveway to get your head right so that you can keep moving. I know this feels like a lot of work with no guarantees. And I know you wonder, what happened to me? Who am I? And why am I here more than you'd like to admit? I know all of this because I once felt the way you do too. It may not be evident by looking around because we all wear our masks, but you're not the only one who feels like you'll never get back to you. That's why I've launched Unearthed. Unearth is a 12-week group coaching program focused on discovering the woman within. Just as the earth hides all kinds of precious stones waiting to be found, buried within every woman are the seeds of wisdom, strength, purpose, and passion waiting to be brought to the light. Unearth will take you through a spiritual, emotional, and physical excavation process that will reveal to you who God designed you to be and guide you through a process to embrace and activate your true identity. When you complete this journey, you'll have a new focus aligned with your core values so that you can begin to feel your life again and discover that your gifts aren't buried, but planted and waiting to be unearthed. Register today.
Welcome back, everybody. You're watching the Couples Academy Show, and we're talking about how to let go of the past. I just want to mention real quick Unearth, the Unearth program. I'm super excited about it. Just launched it, have been testing it for over a year, and it's a phenomenal program, but it's specific. It's for women who are on the road to recovery, right? You're in a relationship, you're trying to work it out, you've decided to stay, but you're still in crisis. And if that's you, I want you to reach out to me. I would love to do a 15-minute with you and discuss some of what we're gonna be covering in this program. It's just 12 weeks of your life for transformation. We think it takes so long. Sometimes it really just takes to get the tools. We don't know what we're doing. We are stuck. We are stuck in a cycle. We're doing the same thing every day, experiencing the same thing day after day. It's time for you to experience something different. Let's get this done in January of 2022 so that we can move on and have a phenomenal year. So if you're interested, reach out.
All right. I encourage you to do that. Let's go to the second point. We're talking about how to get past the past. That is to teach yourself to be present. We know that a lot of you live in the past, right? And the past is trapped in your memories, and the future is trapped in your imagination. And oftentimes we're constantly vacillating back and forth between our past and our future, our memories and our imagination. We're always in our head. And so what you want to do is you want to practice mindfulness by bringing your thoughts into the present moment. Because every time you think a thought and every time you're doing this, what you're engaging in is what we would call intention, as opposed to paying full attention to your situation, to your natural surroundings. So when you're with your spouse and you're on a date, if for whatever reason you're triggered and now you're back in the past, you're in a memory. If now you begin to anticipate a negative future outcome, you're in your imagination and you're robbing yourself of your present moment, because presently maybe things are better than where they once were, but you're looking through a lens of your past that keeps you trapped in that place. And so if we're talking about how do we move forward and how do we do it, that's the internal work, because at the end of the day, both of you have a role and a responsibility to be in a good place. And so if you're the one who is the hurt partner, the betrayed partner, this is the daily work. So when we talk about those daily rituals, you got to retrain your brain. You've got to begin to have affirmations and visualization and do things that set your day up right. That's why you want to start in the morning, because the morning creates the intention for the rest of the day. And when you're in a good mood, haven't you heard people say, you know what, when I'm in my prayer time and I'm meditating, man, do I feel good. But once I get up out of that and I got to deal with the daily grind of this life, it just shifts my whole focus, my energy, and now I'm in a negative space. Well, when you're in that prayer time, that meditation time, that feeling that you have in that moment, you want to try to carry that feeling all throughout the day and be present to make sure you're showing up as your best self.
Yeah, those rituals that we were talking about actually help you change your mindset and change those emotions that you're feeling, because some of us really don't know how to turn the channel on our emotions. You know, some of us are just melancholy all the time, and some of us are just mad all the time, and some of us are sad all the time, and there's some type of gratification that you get out of it, even if it's simply somebody walking by and saying, oh, are you okay, what's wrong, and looking at you looking sad and sorry. And so we've got to get out of the mindset. We've got to get away from the payoff. There is a payoff for you to stay stuck in what you're in. And we've got to get away from that payoff to be able to appreciate what the benefits could be if you were to actually change your mindset and start to see things differently. I have been known to, things happen, all right? The Bible does talk about there are seasons for everything. So that means there's a season to mourn, there's a season to celebrate, there's all these seasons. So there's a time for all of it, but we can't stay stuck there. And sometimes we get into these seasons and something happened and we just got stuck. And we never came out of it. And we realized there were benefits to it. And so now we're there. So we have to detach ourselves from that. And I have been known to literally just spin myself into a different mind frame so that I could get out of that depression or sad. If there's something sad going on, or if there's fear coming upon me, turn the music on, start to dance, start to sing, do something to change the energy of your body, and you will begin to feel different, because some people just don't know how to do that.
That's right.
I'm just keeping it real. I feel like this. Okay, so let's figure out a way to change the energy. Find something funny and laugh. A good, deep, hearty laugh. All these things change the way that you feel inside.
Absolutely. Ayana, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, says, need to keep working on leaving the past. You are not alone, sister.
Yes,
That's
ma'am.
the journey that we all have.
All of us do.
Then we have another comment that said, by Lisa, old things are passed away, and behold, all things become new. 2 Corinthians 5:17. Absolutely. And that's why, a part of your morning ritual is getting those scriptures that remind you of how you need to think and what you need to do, because it helps to reset you. It anchors you. So becoming soaked and saturated in the word can be an amazing thing. Listen, a question did come regarding the Unearth program. Is Unearth void of Enneagram? Just curious.
No, we actually do incorporate Enneagram in it, because it's so important for you to understand who you are and why you are. So a portion of that is for you to discover who you are, what your Enneagram is, and then we look at those things. We look at what you value. What are your highest values? And then from there, we build a plan for you.
Another question came in. What happens when you try to live in the present, but the unfaithful partner continues to go on and cheat and do the hurtful things? Great question. We're going to answer that tonight at the Ask the Questions show, which is at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. We always take these amazing questions so that we can unpack it and give it more depth and significance. So make sure you tune into that. But let's go to the next one. In terms of how to let go of the past, you have to work on your personal growth. We kind of just talked about that. And so oftentimes when I hear people saying, I'm working on myself. Well, what you doing?
Right.
Well, I'm working. Like I literally had somebody tell me, I said, well, what are you doing? Well, I have accountability partners that whenever I need to vent, and I'm like, that's great, because if they are qualifiable accountability partners, that can be a good thing. But what are you doing separate from other people?
Right. And I often hear people say, I'm a work in progress. I'm a work in progress. And you've been a work in progress for like 10 years. What are you working on? Sometimes when we say we're a work in progress or I'm working on it, it's just an excuse to be able to say, this is who I am, right? I'm still this way. God is working on me. No, he's not. So what we need to do is actually become proactive in the working on me. There's nothing to me. One-on-one coaching is fantastic. It just is. You have that undivided attention, but there's also something so powerful that happens in group. When you're in group, there is a something called positive, what is it? Not positive influence. Okay, he's not even gonna help me out here. But when you are surrounded around other people.
Positive peer pressure.
Thank you. Positive peer pressure. And sometimes when you're surrounded around other people that actually want what you want, and they're struggling just like you are,
that actually
but they want what they want. Well, there it is.
Surround yourself with other people.
What you want. It is a motivator to push you forward, to keep you going. And then also those other people give you insight so that you understand other aspects of yourself and you don't feel like you're going through it alone. And so get yourself around other people, some positive, influential people that can support you in your growth. You don't want to be stuck here and you're trying to do it all by yourself. And sometimes we start there with a book, and that book is a little bit of a spark to get me to want a little bit more. And so now I'm searching out other things. And then, wow, I found somebody else and a group. Keep working on yourself, on self-development, and you'll begin to see those little changes happen. We're watching the Couples Academy show here, guys. We'll be right back after this quick break.
If you're a man and you have a pulse, then you need to join this program. You're a husband, you're a father, you're a leader. You have the weight of the world on your shoulders. You have to be everything for everyone, but do you know who and how to be for you? You're still in search of your own significance. You're in internal battle with your own vices. You're questioning, do I even know what it means to be a man? I know I'm supposed to be there for others, but what about me? The fact is, you need a model. You need a code to live by, a system of principles to govern your life. You need an internal compass to guide your every decision. You need the 4 securities to build your own kingdom. What you need is the Foundry. In short, a foundry is a facility where castings are produced by melting metal, pouring liquid metal into a mold, and then allowing it to solidify. Well, this is where we're testing the metal of men. Foundry is a 12-week men's-only coaching program. It is a brotherhood that will take each man through a purification process of the heart, mind, and soul. We here at Couples Academy promise you that if you give us 12 weeks of your life, you will no longer recognize it. If you care about the improving of your life, your marriage, and your family, register today. Every now and then and again, not even every blue moon, every green moon, red moon, if there is such a moon, I get a nice little compliment. And I'll hear somebody say, man, you have wisdom well beyond your years, or, character, or the way that you function and operate.
And I'm like, thank you. I'm humbled by that. I appreciate that. But the truth is, I am who I am, goes back to the last point, because of those that I choose to surround myself with. I have been taught that I am a seed, and when this seed, me, is placed in the right environment, what's in me comes out. And so one of the things that I've always said is that every man needs a man. Man now, not male. Your sexuality, your biology makes you male. Your mind, your character makes you a man. And I had to learn the difference. And I was raised and trained and enculturated in manhood. Now, does that mean I'm perfect? No. That's why I'm saying every man needs a man, because your expression of manhood is different than mine. Your upbringing was different than mine. But when we all come together, we can glean to become more complete as men. And that's what the Foundry program is about. We're talking about spiritual development. We're talking about showing up and becoming the best you can be, so that you can be a phenomenal husband, a phenomenal father, a phenomenal businessman, okay? You know, finances is one of the biggest concerns and struggles and issues and fears and areas of anxiety for men, because we have a responsibility to be a provider. And so with that in mind, what if you could take your finances to a whole nother level? What if you could take your marriage to a whole nother level? What if you could take your spirituality to a whole nother level? That's where a lot of us struggle, in the area of that. All those things are offered in the Foundry program. All you need to do is sign up. 12 weeks of transformation. We're going to take you through a purification process. And I promise you, not only will you not recognize you, but those around you will see a different version of you.
Yes, absolutely. JD says, sounds great. I need that group. You do, JD?
So what you waiting for,
I don't know why I
brother?
didn't think about that. Please reach out. Do a discovery call.
The link is in the description.
And click Hassani, because he tried to do a discovery call for him and his wife with me, and I was booked up. So reach out again, JD.
Reach out, and the description for both programs are right there. Just click on it and find out more. But listen, guys, I think a good question came. Do you want to hit this, Danielle?
Let's see. Click it. Yesterday we talked about focus, change, to let go of the past, but where to start when the present is so raw after the discovery period. I mean, that's the thing. After the discovery period, y'all, it is like the Hiroshima bomb has exploded in your life. Anybody knows what that looked like? We used to show a video about that bomb that dropped on Hiroshima and how it literally devastated the entire city, and it was in ruins. But there was a time when people lived there and it was a functional city and people were coming and going and eating and having family time, and now it's just ruins. And so there is a season for complete devastation. We're not saying that you don't go through that season. There's no way you're gonna get out of that devastated city unscathed, okay? You're gonna come out of there, you're gonna have dust in your hair, you're gonna need to go to the doctor and get your lungs checked out. There's a lot that you have to do. We're just saying get busy doing. Because there are some folks that literally stay right there in the ruins, and they sitting there with rubble right next to their house that used to be, and they're looking at broken picture frames that used to be, and they working out of a plate and a bowl that used to be, and they've decided they're gonna stay stuck here because this was what it was, and it should be this, and I want this to be the way that it was. And after discovery, you don't want what it was. You have to recognize that everything that you built is destroyed. Then you have to demo that. Have you ever seen when there's an old building in your town and they want to build something new? They don't start adding new bricks onto an old building and fixing the window frame and putting a new door on a mess. They demo that whole thing and they clear it down to the foundation, and then they start building something new. So to that point, how do you focus on change when you're still stuck in the devastation of the whole discovery and it's still raw? It's really starting to get yourself into conversations like this and surrounding yourself with the right people. Sometimes we're still surrounded with the wrong people who are feeding us the wrong things. You've got to change your mind, and you do that by changing what you're feeding your mind. And you're doing that by being right here.
So stop focusing on what used to be and start focusing on about to be. I'm about to be a bad mamma jamma, because I'm going to grab this thing and I'm gonna make this thing happen, and I'm gonna become the best version of myself.
Yeah.
And 2022 is gonna be the best year I've ever had, and I'm gonna make it so.
Right. But first, you know, I mean, real talk, but get those checkups though. Like, you know, get yourself into some counseling to see where you're at. You really can't chart a new course until you figure out exactly where you are. You know, if you're a sailor, you need your compass and you're like, okay, we're due west, south, this and that, and the third. You need to know exactly where you are so that you can chart a course for your future. And you really can't do that by yourself, so reach out.
We're here. This is the Couples Academy show, guys. We appreciate you for tuning in. Make sure you show up tomorrow for another great episode. But until then, we'll see you tonight at Ask the Experts, and we will deal with that question, I promise you. See you then. Love you guys.